Namaste, dear listeners, and welcome to the iWatch channel, Astro in Udabi, Oneness in Astrology and Spirituality. Today, we're going to talk about what is Christ, or who is Christ. Now, this is a question given to me from a person that is following, obviously, Christianity, and she is on a spiritual path where she is basically questioning her path and want to know more. So, from a religious person, she is becoming more of an omniist. And I can understand her because this is the same process I have been in about 18 to 22 years ago, probably more longer. I can't even remember, it's been so long, but I've been through this. Now, Shiva is a state of consciousness, therefore, Christ is a state of consciousness. It's a state of consciousness, as I've explained in my previous podcast, the Christ itself, Christ Krishna, same. It's a state of experience, which is heaven. And heaven is a state of experience. It's a dimension of existence. It's out of the physical world. The physical world consists of the material body, which is the physical body, the prana energy body, and the mental body. And then you've got the transient body, which is in between the physical and the spiritual. And then you've got the bliss body, which is the Shiva or the Christ or the heaven. Now, this state of consciousness is not how they describe it in the books. This has to be taken as a metaphor. Christ is the Son. Christ is the Son of God. God is the source, and the Son is the light of God. And in the absence of the light of God, you've got darkness. So Christ is the light that you go to. Christ is your third eye, your eye of knowing. Christ is a state of consciousness, which is heaven. Christ is not a physical person that is coming to you. It's a dimension of existence that is already within you. The rising of the Christ is the rising of the Kundalani, the rising of the force. Christ is that force of energy. When that energy rises, that force, that Shakti, when the serpent, the coiled serpent, or the energy itself, or the force itself rises up the chakra system based on your different yogas that you are doing, the force meets with the source in the third eye, in the sixth chakra. From there, the sun and moon, the union between the masculine and feminine, the force and the source. As a consequence of this union, one enters the gate to heaven, which is the seventh chakra or the fifth body. So, when Christ is saying one can never enter the kingdom of God without coming to me first, what is he saying? He's saying that one cannot rise in the dimension of the fifth body or the dimension of bliss or in the seventh chakra. One cannot enter there without going through Christ first. And Christ is the force, that Kundalini energy, the rising of it. So we must understand that everything that is written in the books, especially the Bible and the other holy books, has to be taken as metaphors. If you decode them, you'll understand that everything will go back to astrology. And the people will tell you not to follow astrology and all of that. They will tell you this here because they don't want you to be able to predict and understand your life, how the planets impact you. They want you to be controlled. They want you to be less knowing so that you are dependent on people under a roof. But if you understand the sciences, everything is there. It's been written 10,000, 15,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, these books have been written. So Christ is a state of consciousness. And the only way to get there is to the rising of the Kundalini. And this is what a lot of people don't know it. Even people who don't know it and they are rising the Kundalini, they don't know they're rising it. They are rising it through the relationship building with Christ. But the Christ is already in you. You're just rising that back up. It has fallen, you're rising that back up. And that Christ is the force or the Shakti, the Kundalini energy rising. And so that's the rising of the Christ. So once a month, you need to rise that fluid back up. It's unleashed on the 28th day. It needs to be raised back up, risen back up, especially once a year during the 23rd, the 27th. Right, that energy needs to be risen back up again. Or during Easter time, that energy needs to be risen back again. It's energy. Once a month during a new moon, that energy needs to be risen back up. So with an erect spine, we are the only species that have an erect spine. We are the only species that have possibilities that are there for us. Alright, so I hope this answers your question. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram, Namah Shivaya, Hari Bol, and goodbye.